Hey everyone, it's Vanessa. Wanted to come on and share some more about myself. Sometimes we have to face our past and those demons that haunt us and figure out how to move past them. I've moved past a lot of the traumas that I grew up with by forgiving and letting things go. Some things are tougher than others, and I do struggle with some of that yet, but hopefully by sharing, it'll make a little more sense. I am the third child of a couple. There's my older brother, who is 10 years older than I am, my older sister, who's 8 years older than I am, then myself, and a brother who's a year younger than myself. Life wasn't peachy keen. My father was an alcoholic, and there were many times we feared him coming home from work because he would have been drinking and want to fight. Several times I remember my sister or my brother, my older ones, sitting me in a corner on their bed and sitting in front of me so that I did not receive the wrath that was coming, because he always seemed to be looking for a fight. You become very resilient and very numb to many things. And me, as the quiet empathizer, I guess, of the family, I tried to understand what was causing my father to be the way he was. I sought God in the strangest places, but he always came to me, and so they weren't so strange. And I tried very hard to be forgiving of my father. I heard stories of my mother having to grab a knife off the kitchen counter and defend herself from the wrath that was my father. I never saw that part, but it chilled me and changed me. But it also allowed me to empathize and try to understand. Circumstances influence you in ways you have no idea. We can live in that trauma if we choose to, or we can learn to rise above it by seeking the good in any terrible situation. I hated my dad. I've got to sneeze. Excuse me. I hated my father for many, many years. But you know what? My father did love me unconditionally and helped me in many situations where I never thought he would step up. So I think he knew he had an issue, and he did stop drinking for several years and stopped the gallivanting across the countryside. I have a half brother somewhere out there that I met once who's my age, and that shocked me to my core. But I think my father tried to make up for that in little things he did. He had an alcohol problem. I don't know the stresses he was under. I don't understand the relationship my mom and dad had. It was very different and very strange. And I know my mother wanted to leave many, many times, but chose to stay because of us kids. And I think just because it was normal for her. Anyways, through all of that and all that history, I found compassion and empathy when dealing with others. Again, I hated my father for quite some time, but when I spoke to him when I was a wife and a mother, many years after I had moved out of my home, and explained to him, he knew. He was already ashamed and felt bad. And again, through those little things that he helped me along with in high school, I tried not to be the rebellious one. My little brother did plenty of that. I was no saint, mind you. I got in plenty of pickles and, pushed those boundaries like any teenager does. But he did step up a few times and let me know in little ways that he did love me, even through his struggles. So that, I think, explains a little bit more about myself. My older brother and sister moved out when I was quite young because they were that much older, and yeah, my little brother didn't handle things quite as well as I did. He struggled, and I believe still struggles to this day. I have to be honest, I haven't spoken to him in many, many years because of some of the crazy things he's done in his life, and I'm not sure how to reach an internal comfort with any of that. I've forgiven him. I I don't know where he is, and that breaks my heart. I don't know where my half brother is, and that breaks my heart. I don't even remember his name, but I think the trauma of learning he existed uh, built walls. And but again, as I've grown older, I've learned that we don't always know everybody's full stories, and our past doesn't have to define us. It's how we choose to deal with things and move forward. And God gave me empathy and compassion and love, and I'm proud to carry that. I won't change. I won't alter who I am for anybody. I had a first husband who wanted me to change and be someone I was not, and that's why we did not get along. And he was very verbally and physically abusive, and I knew it before I married him, but I was caught up in the excitement of it, but questioned it before I married him. And I knew God had something bigger and different in store for me. So again, your past can define you, but it's what you do to pull yourself out of it. It's not up to anyone else to fix you. You have to find an inner strength and an inner wisdom to find the higher path and be the better person. I try to do that. I am so far from perfect. I have many faults, many insecurities, but I love who I am. And I am thankful to God for this life that He's given me, because it's made me exactly who I am and put me right where I'm supposed to be right now. Embrace your past. No matter how rocky and difficult and crazy it may have been, or perfect and straightforward it may have been, you never know what someone else has gone through. Love everyone with a deep understanding and a non-judgmental thought. You have no idea how you influence others. So be your very best self all the time. That's how God wants you. God bless.